Me out of here. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Big Happy Trading. Man, oh man, I'm going on a few minutes early today because this is just lunacy. I have no words. I'm gonna get myself some coffee. It took me off the. But look at this. I have my. You see, I get up. I got up early this morning. Got the kids out to school. My bias was bullish, and I stepped back to the computer and it looked like okay, we got the 7120 and this thing was going to pull back. And then this candle went from back down to 7109 and ripped up to 7132. You can see I had marked at 8:30. I had marked the high at 7120. I thought that's going to be it. We'll kind of have a pullback here. But my goodness, the market out of the plans. Here's good news and bad news for me in the strategy. I got in early at 70.94, and I enjoyed a 20-point win. But man, I should have stayed in. In hindsight, what are you going to do? Monday morning quarterback, because I don't normally want to. I don't trade too much before the open, but I was in one here. My signal came. I got in. I've taken 20 points off the market, but man, now I don't even like to use these words, but this can't keep going ballistic forever. So let me turn on my financial juice news, which I had off. I don't see any big red folder news of why things are going up. So we'll see. But my goodness. So what was that one candle? Let's look at that one candle real quick. So you have one candle, that 5 minute candle went up.
Futures up 0.8%. Nasdaq up. Nasdaq futures up.
I mean, 25-point spike after this entire run up.
S&P 500 E-mini futures up 0.8%. Nasdaq futures now up 0.9%. And Dow futures up 1.1%.
Okay, so it is not even 9 yet, so I'm early of getting here. I don't usually get, like I said, I don't usually get in this early, but I want to get in, get the boys up to school. This thing is, again, don't like to use language like this thing's got to come back, but it doesn't have to do anything. So let's do some quick analysis here.
Germany's 10-year government bond yield dropping by 6.5 basis points to around 2.97%. Fed swap see double shift and price 15 basis points of rate cuts by December.
Yeah, so I got in 7114. I had a target set here, so I got out at 7114. I was in at 7094. Let's mark out the levels here. So I was in at 7094 right when this thing crossed, and I had set this to 20 points, and I walked away. I went to get coffee, getting the kids ready. So I had the, and I just left the stop. My stop defaults at the OCO order cancels order at 20 points. But look what I left on the table. I thought, okay, we're gonna be kind of chopping in here. I was gone for a few minutes. This 5 minute candle was a 25.24 something and change. I like to wind a little bit. That would have been a 36 point. And I typically will move my multi contracts to different, 1 to 20, 1 to 30. but I didn't do that because I thought, okay, it's not going to move that fast until I can get back to the desk. And look at that sucker! It just went. I'm going to leave this on the way I have it at 8:30. Our high 7120 was our high at 8:30, and then we can just track the timing here. So, all right, boys and girls, what in the heck is going to happen on the open? I don't see. Let me ask my good friend ChatGPT on the other. We got my regular news. Any significant news driving stock market up? Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Three main drivers today: geopolitical easing, markets react to possible de-escalation in the Middle East. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to be able to turn that ringer off, guys.
Stocks Europe Travel Index and Leisure Index, its intraday high last up 2.2%. Effective Fed funds rate unchanged at 3.64% April 16.
I'm going to have to move this out of the office here so we can not be bothered during recording here. I haven't changed that. So it says you got strong earnings, bullish sentiment, massive money flowing into stocks. No duh. Fake breakout. Oh, they're talking about what most traders miss. Anyway, this thing is just going ballistic. Yeah, we're just at 9 o'clock, guys. So, all right. So here's the $64 question from. Well, let's just go back from. Let's look at some. All right, so going over to the London low. This was. So let's just use this as the 7076. Let's go from the London low. 7, and then we're going to go down to 70.
Says the uncertainty surrounding the outlook for euro area inflation has increased significantly following the outbreak of the war in the Middle East.
Okay, so we've had another.
To ensure inflation stabilizes at 2%.
So we've had another.
To the outlook are tilted to the upside, especially in the near term.
Every time I go to talk, my news guy talks. Sorry, I know it's irritating, but I need to hear that. So if I get that'll make any quick decisions. So we've gone up. You know,
says USS
62 points.
Peralta directed a vessel to return to Iran port. ECB's President Lagarde says we're closely monitoring the situation in Iran or in the Middle East.
So let's go back. My bias yesterday was right. I said there would be some profit taking.
On Hormuz, the 19 ships complied with direction to turn around.
All right, so the blockade is working, getting Iran to the table. Ships are listening. China's motivated, and I read a lot on this last night, so I'll just give you my. So China is motivated to motivate Iran to get to the table because it's that's going to hurt them. So hopefully this is getting things resolved. But are you kidding me that the market is starving for such good news and it blows up on potential? It's not even done yet. So all it takes is one itchy trigger finger of some lunatic, and then we're back into, people blowing each other up, which I don't want. I wish we'd just get rid of war.
CENTCOM also adds that 0 vessels have evaded U.S. forces during the blockade.
I pray for world peace, and me and the boys, we pray. We go to church. We pray for, God to calm all the heads and get everyone together. It's just nothing good about war. But let's go back to what our buddy at ChatGPT. Oh, ChatGPT knows that I trade the 920 EMA strategy. It's kind of creepy. It says how I'd frame your 920 EMA strategy: slightly bullish, risk on environment. Yeah. Continue news-driven rally, not purely technical. Yep. That's why we got this on. Bullish backdrop, but not a clean trend day guaranteed. Yeah, I would agree with all these things. So I think we're going to have. This was a good trend, and that was an expensive cup of coffee I went to get. It was a 20-point cup of coffee or 15, 15, what 15 plus point cup of coffee. But let's not look back. We're starting off on a winning day. So
Markets price ECB deposit rate at 2.43% in December, from above 2.5% earlier in session after Iran says Hormuz completely open. ECB's President Lagarde says the economy started in relatively solid position. And she's just echoing what other members have said from the ECB so far this week. So US futures continue to gain standing gains after Iran's foreign minister says Strait of Hormuz completely open for remaining period of ceasefire.
So yeah, let's go back to the market here, where it's only 9:05 a.m. So just a quick recap. This morning, I went 7094 on this cross. I was at 7094, and I set it for 20 points. So I was out at 70114 and some change. There you go. So that was my
Multi-flag tanker Agios Honorios says it arrived and anchored off Iraq's southern oil terminals and is set to load about 2 million barrels of Basra crude, according to Iraqi force sources say.
or plus 20 points, out 7.
Trump now just saying that Iran has just announced Strait of Hormuz is fully open and ready for full passage. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's going to rip the market. So
You
Trump,
see a little bit of movement towards the upside, not so much, but just Trump on Truth Social.
I think
Iran says Strait of Hormuz is fully open and ready for passage. Thank you.
Okay, so that may rip the market even more. This is okay. That makes some sense right here. So let's look at what that guy just said. He didn't post anything, but what he just said on the news is that the Strait of Hormuz, they just announced that Iran announced, which I think is the most important part, that the Strait of Hormuz is open and free to passage. So this news was leaked, obviously. I believe, obviously, because there's no reason for this rip except for really, really good news. Now, that news may just hit and we may go another unbelievable amount of points up. I don't know. But that just came through on my Squawk box Yeah, and it looks like it's just now filtering in to be go up again. Oh, it's going without me, guys. Going without us all. Oh. Okay.
US energy companies dropping pre-market trading after Iran says rid of the most critical commercial shipping for duration of Lebanon ceasefire. See Nasdaq 100 futures extending gain now to 1%. Also, the dollar index erasing gains since the Iran war began.
So I won't ever cry over spilled milk, but it should be nice if Trump would be. Hey, good morning, General. Um, it'd be nice if he would give a brother some attention and let us know that we're going to get this kind of news, uh, like he lets the rest of his family members and people know when they're going to trade.
Brent oil falling as much as 10% down as Iran says rid of the most fully open. And just seeing some further movement towards the upside on the S&P 500, of course, outpost Trump's confirmation war was set by Iran.
Oh yeah, it's ripping. Holy cow! We could have just gotten in, but now. All right, now I'm eager to see what's going to happen on the open in 21 minutes.
European bonds gain, Italian 10-year yields falling 14 base points to 3.67%.
So there's no official posting here, but isn't it amazing how news can move the market like that? I mean, and there's still we haven't resolved anything, but just opening the shipping lanes and that good news across the place. Yeah, that train did leave the station, brother. It's what's the old the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. I know it's so cliche, but man, is that true?
UK 2-year yields falling 13 base points to around 4.09%, the lowest in 1 month.
My thesis yesterday was right. Yeah, I got a piece. Yeah, thanks. I mean, 20 points is worse. No, there's a lot worse things that happen than to catch 20 points. But my thesis yesterday was correct. So we started out. We took some profit. It went down. I got a and I didn't play everything right yesterday, but I mean, we still had a positive day. The today, if I would have been true to my if I would have just taken one at 20 and left one at break even, but I walked away to get coffee, and everything defaults when I place my orders on my broker. Everything sets to 20 points, and then I have to with multi contracts I have to manually move the other ones to 30, 40, or just to break even. So that's my bad, and that thing ran. And so I mean I'm not.
Bank of England's pill says we need to continue quantitative tightening. Bank of England should not be holding gilts for monetary policy purposes.
I've got to think here that what I say the we're 70, yeah, let's call it 7074. I mean, we've had a 66-point run today, but after every single day,
maybe 5%.
let me look at. I'm gonna look. I have another.
SIBO volatility index touches over 2-month low, last down 0.79 points to about 17.15. Spot gold extends gain, last up 2%.
This run since April 6th went from where we're at now, 71.42.
Bank of England's Phil says, I would prefer the Bank of England to keep going with gilt sales.
So since April 6th, that's just what, 10 days, 12 days? The market is up 587 points. The low, 65.50-ish. And now we're at 71.44. Or, at our high, 71, yeah, 587 points. That's a staggering amount of points. So think about that. We're down like 8% or something. So, and then there's never been since 1950. I think I referred this before. There's never been a rally.
2-year government bond yields dropping 9 basis points.
Since 1950, where the market has rallied this much.
Rate hike to around 8% and 15% earlier in the day.
Yeah, I'm with you, John. This is my thesis. That's why I said here that my bias today is bullish. Of course, I was already in based on the strategy. Money management's the whole thing. You're going to get this thing right. You get it right, but I think there's going to be some profit taking here. I don't think we're going to retrace this whole thing. I think we may come down to I think we may come down to 7,100 range even. We may come down kind of the psychological range of that 7,100, 7,105, somewhere in that range. And again, I am really spitballing here because I have no idea. But there's got to be some profit taking. Every knucklehead that's been in this and made a ton of money here has got to, push some buttons and put some in their pocket, or maybe they don't. Maybe we screamed to 8,000 today. All right, so yeah, I think I sent you the PDF. I think you should have gotten that. If you check your email, let me know if you got it. So wow, what a Friday! And you know what? I originally woke up thinking, okay, this thing's gonna sell off today. We're gonna come back to reality. And then I started looking at everything this morning. Well, I don't see anything that's going to change the to move the needle in a negative direction. Stocks post 11.3 billion inflow, driven by 17.4 billion inflow. U.S. equities, blah blah blah. Record cash outflow linked to risk on sentiment. Now, getting tricky here. If this, I'm clicking to the 1 minute, which I do not recommend.
Traders price a rising chance of Fed rate cut in 2026.
But if this 1 minute, it's been bouncing off this 20, came through across here. This 1 minute wants to cross this 20. You get a couple confirmed candles. There might be a short there, even though we're miles away on the 5 minute. That would be a very risky trade. But yesterday it would have worked on the 1 minute. If the 1 minute crossed earlier, if I would have gotten in earlier, and I did take some more trades yesterday, so I think I ended. I think I ended like 20, 18. So not a lot. I didn't make a lot here yesterday, but we're starting off the positive day here, so. I like to see the form of the 5 minute candles. If there's any big bottom wicks pushing up, I don't, a hammer candle pushing up showing that the buyers are super stepping in, I don't like it, but these are pretty solid. If you got a little bottom pressure on the 1 minutes, that's not going to tell you as much as you need to know, but
traders now see about a 60% chance for a Fed rate cut by December based on Fed fund futures pricing. 2-year gilt yield down 15 basis points on the day as Iran says for the most open June ceasefire.
yeah, we're looking at the 1 minute right here, and we kind of popped through here and then ripped your eyes out if you try to go short here.
Aluminium on LME falls after Iran says Strait of Hormuz open.
Yeah, send me another email.
Says that
I thought I saw your email.
Activity Saturday.
I thought I saw your email. Send me an email and I'll double check it. Yeah, I don't trust this 1 minute. Look at this thing. This is again, this is risky, especially this good news.
1 quarter point banking rate hike in 2026 compared to Thursday, which they saw between 1 and 2.
You see down here we're but 6 minutes off the open. Too much noise on that one. This is what I didn't want to see if you're going to go short here. This bottom wick pushing up here.
U.S. official says U.S. military blockade of Iran remains in effect. So again, U.S. military officials says U.S. military blockade of Iran remains in effect. Just seeing a little bit of a downside movement on the S&P 500. It's a tiny bit, not so much. Did see a tiny bit of movement towards the upside. Again, not really that significant. Again, just comments coming through from a U.S. official. U.S. blockade of Iran remains in effect. Okay, Trump's just updated his Truth Social post, says the Strait of Hormuz is completely open and ready for business and full passage. The Navy blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran, only until such time our transaction with Iran is 100% complete. This process should go very quickly, and that most of the points are already negotiated.
Yeah, the thing as suspected.
The downside movement from the S&P 500 now.
But I think it's right before the market. I still think it's going to rip back up, rip back down. I'm not sure what's going on. But there has to be some things coming back to earth. Yeah, I'll get on. I'll send an email here in just a little bit. We're right here before they open. Let me see. Let's get two screens set up.
The marker and open imbalance data.
All right. I had the NQ over here. Let's get the ES on both. Get the 1 minute on the right screen. Oops. Let's get this off. This trade is gone. We made some money. Let's get rid of that. All right, so we got the got a sentiment here. Let's move this up to the real high.
10 seconds.
All right, let's see. Party time.
Marker and open imbalance. S&P 500 buy side 234 million. Nasdaq 100 sell side 100 million. Dow 30 buy side 62 million. And Max 7 sell side 118 million.
Yeah, that guy gives me those news. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know that these just tell me if it's up or down or sideways, but we just got to watch the candlesticks here.
Russell 2000 index hits first intraday record high since US-Iran war began. The stock indexes extend gains. Dow Jones up now 1.04%. Snapback shares falling 9.4% after downbeat Q2 profit forecast, and company founder Hastings is to leave. As said, US stocks extend gains. Nasdaq up now 1%.
Similar to the other opens, when you had the big run-ups, the New York Open is not. It doesn't blast off. It's been just kind of this bases and then grinds
Analysts, they say that Iran's
north, which I think this is kind of what we're going to do today.
According to shipping analysts cited by the Wall Street Journal.
I'd like to see some profit taking and then get back down, and then I guess I get back down near the 7,100 range would be nice. The 71, not so, yeah, like 71. Yeah, 7,100, 7,105, somewhere in that range, and then kind of rip back up. I think I don't know how psychological that 7,100 number is, but I think a little bit maybe.
We have tested out the Axios piece on the feed quick read through. It's now seeing Stocks Europe 600 oil and gas index down 4% as oil prices slide. It's the lowest since March 23rd. Also seeing US listed shares of silver miners gain as silver prices rise after Iran news from the morning. Shares of US airlines up after the Iran news from the morning.
That would have been a good entry right here on the 5 minute, right? A bounce right off of the 20 for re-entry. I've got some in the bank here, so I wasn't even watching that, to be honest with you guys. Not much is credence to the one, but if we get a rejection off this 20, we push back down. Um, but it looks like it wants to climb back up to where it was, so we'll see. But man, it just seems logical that there will be more profit taking than just this small little drawdown here. And I was listening to, I get a bunch of videos and guys talking about bull traps. a little late for a bull trap. We've gone up 587 points. I think the bulls have gotten they've been fed. They're not trapped. Even if they get stopped out now, they're not trapped. They're just, now if they're trying to be bullish just today, then I would say that could be a bull trap. Um, but I mean, we're up 587 points from April 6th. I don't think you're trapping anybody there. Oh, yeah, looks like that would have been a nice entry there off the 20 to get back in.
Euro Stoxx Volatility Index falling below 20 for the first time since outbreak of the Iran war. Last down at about 19.63.
But I think there's got to be a little more profit taking here somewhere. I mean, the market's only been open, for 6 minutes, so we'll see. It doesn't have to do anything, I think. Logic would say there's going to be some exhaustion somewhere. But as Trump says, all I do is win, win, win. He doesn't get tired of it. So it's kind of how the stock market is right now. All it does is just win, win, win. I'm going to get some coffee. Not in anything right now. Hey, Mom, what do you got going on today?
US fertilizer stocks drop after Iran says almost straight open.
And you can give it to me at the same time and get the link. All right, so what's happening here? All right, let's roll over. Let's get down. Let's get down tonight. Get down tonight. Let's get down to the 7,100 range, crossover, cross down. This looks like, real quick, I got to run there. So curvature matters, as I told you here. This, you kind of a lower high on the 1 minute. You bounce up to this 9.
Netanyahu says, together with our friend Trump, we changed the face of the Middle East and achieved tremendous achievements.
Curvature of this 9 matters to me on the 5. We start getting a downward trajectory on the 9. My original thesis, and again, thesis doesn't matter for diddly squadoosh, was that we would be some profit taking, and then longer term we will retrace back. Whether we make another all-time high today, I do not know, but I think there was so much action pre-market, and that information, that news was leaked as sure as I'm sitting here drinking hot coffee. And I am sitting here drinking hot coffee.
Netanyahu also says at Trump's request, we will give an opportunity for an integrated political and military solution with Lebanon. Netanyahu says, for the first time, we have established a deep security belt on the entire northern border. Iran military officials, according to state TV, say military vessels are not allowed to pass Strait of Hormuz. Again, an Iranian military official says military vessels are not allowed to pass Strait of Hormuz, according to state TV. So, reminder with Iraqi, he said passage for all commercial vessels through Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of ceasefire. We'll see what the Iranian military officials are referring to. Probably referring to military vessels. Letting out, he says, Hezbollah today is a shadow of what it was in the days of Nasrallah. Letting out, he says, I won't disclose the details of what we do in the future in Lebanon. Bloodneck says Strait of Hormuz is open and ships are moving.
I had to refresh my my financial juice. Yeah, my original. Let's just go to one screen here.
Says from the additional to the earlier headline, then you had Iranian military official says military vessels not allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, and the ships passing through Hormuz need IRGC coordination. It says U.S. growth will hit 6% under Trump. Russia's main Black Sea port resumes loading crude at Kyiv.
Yeah, so I think we should come somewhere back around here to this 71 10-ish range.
Senior Iranian official says commercial vessels can pass through Strait of Hormuz along determined routes and with permission of IRGC's Navy.
Well, the sellers are stepping in trying to take some profit, but man, look at that 5-minute candle. That is a lot of buying pressure. That wick down to 7117. But there's got to be some institutions going to step in and take some. Again, I don't say gotta. I shouldn't use language like that. So my thesis here, bullish, obviously, unreal bullish to me, but it is what it is. I wouldn't call this real profit taking. We ran up to 71. Let's change that. So 71.46. 71.46 is a new high. An all-time high. And I wouldn't call $25 points profit taking. So I still think there's going to be some exhaustion here someday. So my thesis is maybe we come back down into the 71. I want to see, this is what I want to see, because I want another trade. Just quick update, I've gotten 20 points out this morning. And there were some 1 minute fake outs. You look at, that's why I said be careful in this kind of market where you use the 1 minute. If you're a real aggressive, got in here at 71.37, you could have gotten some quick points, but you got to set your targets quick and get out, in and out. That's what you got. I mean, you get, this is sniper style. So as we talked about, this is a trending strategy. This is not good for a sideways moving market. This was obviously a fantastic trend, and actually the trend is still, by the rules, the trend is still in effect. The 9 is above the 20, and you're above the VWAP. All good things. If you could have gotten in on this dip in at 71.25, you'd still be up 10 points. So there were some good entries here that I just didn't pull the trigger on. I've got some money in the bank, so I'm just kind of being conservative, but I mean, I should have traded the plan. And again, I've stepped out and we're doing some other family business here that I'm taking care of. I think there's still going to be some kind of a lower high here. And I think we're going to, find a lower low here. And then I think we're we're going to trade in a range today. After all the good news and all the euphoria. Again, quick review. Since April 6th, the market is up 500 and, well, more than that now. I did that calculation based on before this big run up, I believe. We did. Almost 600 points. Let's just call it 600. 596.
A senior Iranian official says all commercial vessels are allowed to transit the Strait of Hormuz, even U.S. vessels, excluding Navy ships.
So 600.
But what's been said before by the added bit of U.S. vessels are allowed, excluding Navy ships. It will also say that navigation through Strait of Hormuz will be in coordination with Iran and the IRGC's coordination.
Yeah, it's going right back to the all-time high, guys. Look at this. So that might have been that buying pressure. That 5-minute candle told us a lot that we need to know here. That is the sellers tried to sell that thing off,
Trump
and the
on
buyers said,
Twitter
"Nope."
says the US will get all nuclear dust created by Great B2 bombers. No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form. This deal is in no way subject to Lebanon either. But the US will separately work with Lebanon and deal with Hezbollah's situation in an appropriate manner. Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They are prohibited from doing so by the US. Enough is enough.
Oh, this is all good news. So, just to recap what this guy just said,
So, reminder, according to Axios at 8:24 a.m. Eastern Time, we had headline the deal
that's
is considered
really
a
good
$20
news. So,
billion
Trump
cash
has
free Iranian
finally
deal with
stepped
Iran.
in and put a
And now
foot.
Trump saying the deal is in no way subject to Lebanon either. The US will separately work with Lebanon, and that there'll be no money will exchange hands in any way. So again, US will get all nuclear dust credited by Great B-52 bombers. No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form.
I missed what he's talking about there.
The Iranian official says transit through Hormuz will be through designated safe lanes, which Iran deems safe for maritime navigation.
Yeah, we're going right back to the all-time highs, guys. So, let's go back to the news real quick. It's moving slowly. I still think hopefully a double top, come back down here, give me an opportunity to get in. I don't even want to shorts. Your 1-minute cross, if you did use that, which I don't recommend, especially in this kind of crazy market, staying with the 5 is the game. We get a slightly lower low, maybe come back down here. So it's hard to believe it seems like eternity, but the market's been open for 30 minutes. It's attacking the all-time high, guys. All right, here's what I'm going to do. It is Friday, and I've been on for an hour. I'm going to sit here and watch this. We've taken 20 points out today, but I've got some other.
Extend gains. S&P 500 last at 1%.
Yeah, I got some other business I want to handle today. I'm going to stay at the computer here because I can do it, but I got to make a bunch of calls and stuff. So I'm going to sign off here, and I've got a profitable day. I still think that there's going to be some kind of retrace. If you'd have been trading the system here, guys, this would have been a great entry at 71.20. Retrace back to the 20, enter here. You could add a very tight stop loss here, and you'd have been
Shipping
in.
Association PIMCO says they're awaiting more details from Iran announcing Strait of Hormuz opening before it can comment.
System works. Yeah, I got to run too. I will. Jen, I'll send you the. Oh, awesome! So you made your cash too. Sweet, brother. Good to hear. Yeah. All right, man. I'll take care. I'll send you an email on the with the PDF on the trading plan. All right. Have a great day. I'll talk to you.